the subject battle for the mind, and there is a battle for the mind going on. I'm sure you can see the conflict in yourself, the struggle for sanity against the forces who wish you not to be sane. Because if you were to believe in yourself again, in the original truth that shone in Adam before paradise was lost, the world would be flooded with light and love and understanding. And no one can control a person who is sure of himself. Of course, when you become corrupted, you're sure of yourself. See? You're sure about, my wife is very sure of herself. Most stubborn person on the face of the earth. She's absolutely sure she's strong in her wrong. And that wrong doesn't want me to see that it is. It tries to make me respect her and love her. She dances around on eggshells and serves me tea and coffee, try to get me to see her in a certain light. And I won't see her in a certain light. And then she feels like I'm insensitive, that I don't love her. I do. See, because if I was to capitulate to that, one, I wouldn't love the truth. Two, if I loved her, I'd become a slave. I'd have to doubt myself, wouldn't I? Because what I see is what I see. And those who want to have power, for whatever reason, ego-wise, whether it's feminine power, whether it's political power, religious power, ego power, it's trying to displace the God of this world. I mean, the God of this world is trying to place the God of the true God that created us. There's a war between good and evil, and we stand between two great forces. You can't taste it, you can't touch it, you can't smell it. Each human being is a conduit for good or evil. Some people you can leave your kids with. You can give them $5,000 and $5 million. In 10 years they give it to you back with interest because they're honest. And then some people you couldn't even give your dog. They'd eat it. Is that right or not? They're totally immoral. Totally 100% opposite of what good is. They don't love the truth. They hate it when you see the truth. Because they cannot evolve the kingdom on earth where people stand firm in what they know is right. That's why we liked a fellow like Oliver North, right? How many people liked him? How many people didn't like him? Good for you. I ought to punch you on the nose and send you out. No, see, the truth of the matter is, you saw something in him that was strong, couldn't get confused, could he? You see the Congress trying to, well, the inquisitors trying to confuse him? Couldn't do it. Marvelous quality. Don't you wish you had that? Well, you can, and you've got to develop that. Because if you don't, you're going to die. As simple as that. Because there's a war for your mind, and it's not the Russians that the problem is. The problem is right in the United States of America. There's good and evil everywhere. There's good people in Russia, and there's bad ones in Russia. There's good Iranians and bad ones. There's good whites and bad blacks and good whites. Good has nothing to do with race, color, or creed, or culture. And that's why we mustn't identify with culture. You mustn't think black, and you mustn't think Jew, and you mustn't think Catholic, because that's what's wrong with you. The forces of being separate us into camps. You see? So you're born into a Catholic home, Jewish home, Protestant, I don't care what, an Iranian under Ayatollah Khomeini. And if I wanted to start my own cult, all I'd have to do is put on fancy collar, robes, beard, the usual regalia, right? Usual trappings, and confuse the hell out of somebody, and put my identity into him, and make him give in to me and my teachings, and approve of him when he's confused, good and confused, so that this confused being is subject to my teaching, so he knows more and more about what I'm teaching, but he's becoming more confused. Then I put him in a position of power so he can confuse somebody else. So I get a half a dozen of these guys, and then I make them ministers. Or I make them cabinet ministers. See? And pretty soon, we have a few thousand of these people, and they bear children. And the children come into the world brightness, and they look at their parents and think they're crazy, but they send them to church every week. And, see, because they want to make good Christians or good something out of them. And so now you all grow up to be Catholics, and when the Pope comes to visit you, you all love the Pope. Because he's the spiritual leader, because he represents the source of all that crap that he gave you. That trickled all the way down to the masses. None of those people love the Pope. They're all addicted, obsessed with him, and needful of his reassurance. See, now I'm not saying picking Catholicism. I'm not picking it out. I want you to understand it's the same thing with Judaism. It's the same thing with Protestants. And Rajneesh had told him there's not a hair's breadth difference between us.
Why do people think I know that there's people that think that you're cult, why do they think that?
Well, because
you don't have a robe or anything.
No, that's right. You see, the trouble with these people is that when Jesus was here and Socrates was here, they thought he was a cult. And they thought he was, Socrates that is, was corrupting an Athenian youth. But it wasn't him that was corrupting Athenian youth, it was the politicians that were doing it. They always put on you what's in them and try to project to you the very thing that's wrong with them. So you get confused. You saw it recently with the Judge Bork nominations. If you had any brains, you could see what was going on. If you had the original perception, you didn't have to be a lawyer, understand Constitution, you could see there was a war of worlds, couldn't you? It's everywhere. It's in the media, it's in the Congress. Forces of good and evil. And the evil often represents itself as something noble and pure, acting in your best interest. God help you. Watch out for people who are acting in your best interests. Fight for your own rights, I say. But find what right is to fight for, yes.
You're talking about the Catholics and Jews and Protestants. I was just wondering if there is a right way, for the people in the audience who are Catholics and Jews or whatever, if there's a right way to deal with that within their religion, to deal with the authority, the structure.
Yeah, there is a right way. Because I'm Jewish, so I'm knocking my own system in the manner of speaking. There is a right way. Is to see that way is the wrong way. See? That's the right way. To see that's the wrong way. And that there are none of them that are right. Have you ever brought up in a Baptist home? And the Holy Roller people? Called fundamental, doing boogie-woogies all over the aisle, right? You see? Well, and then you receive the Holy Spirit and you talk in tongues. Well, everyone has a variation of the same thing, but whatever violates you is not intending, whatever is doing that to you and teaching you religion, for the most part, with rare exceptions, is not laying religion on you. You can't lay religion on people. You can't teach people religion. You can't even educate people. That's what the educators don't understand. Education is a big cult too. Like I said in the first segment, it's another form of ignorance. It's a way of receiving the spirit of education as opposed to the spirit of understanding. And then when you receive the spirit of religion, you don't receive the spirit of truth. You receive the spirit of knowledge. Because what was standing when paradise was lost? What was the appeal to the mind or ego of Adam? The knowledge of good.